the Know Your Gear podcast.
And this one is, if guitar brands disappear from stores, will their sales eventually drop online? Brands used to build the brand by having models in stores. That by the quality gave confidence to order the models. You know, there's always a way of looking at this. And my way of looking at it is online sales are definitely going to keep dominating. This will keep going on. So the answer, what my thoughts on your question is, if guitar brands disappear from stores, will they still do well? I think they can do better. I mean, I obviously think guitars need to be in stores. I like stores. Obviously, I go to stores all the time. However, I can't argue that they need to be in stores, all of them. A lot of brands going direct has worked much better, especially in this industry where it's a lot smaller volume. You're not really doing huge volume. You don't have a huge margin. That becomes problematic, right? It gets tricky. So, I mean, a lot of brands should go direct. I think there's a lot of brands that should give up on the store model. And that doesn't, like I said, that's not a big deal. That kind of would help, I think, stores. Because then again, I think there's people who would like some brands should focus on the stores as being the in-store brands. And then people could go to stores and get those guitars because they like to have that very tactile experience of going to a store and physically picking it up and enjoying it. And I think some brands should focus more online because, again, customers can kind of know what they want, and buy direct and maybe save some money and get exactly what they want. I think there's benefits to both, but I think most brands are smart enough to do a little bit of both to see how it goes. But I think at the core of your question is, I think what you're really asking is, if brands aren't in stores anymore, will anyone know what they are? Absolutely. Let's be very clear. My perspective is just looking at this through this lens. I had a store and I have a YouTube channel. It is insane to me how much a YouTube channel sells versus a store. It is insane. I mean, essentially I'm the same person, right? I was in a store all day. You could come in my store almost 6 days a week and I would be standing there. You could talk to me and I would sell you a product or help you with a product. And now I make content. And I look at the conversions on the content and it's off the charts crazy because the audience is just so much bigger. And so, it's just hard to see how social media has effectively given a lot of people an opportunity that wasn't there before when it comes to selling your product. There's so many brands that have done really well. That's why it's shocking to me so few brands actually get into social media in a way that I think is effective. It's just shocking to me. I have conversations with companies daily, if not weekly, to some degree, over a thing that's just crazy. I'll tell you a funny story and funny odd, right? So I had a company come to me once and they just wouldn't leave me alone. Sometimes that's how it works, right? They came at me and they're like, hey, we want you to do a video. And I'm like, yeah, thanks. I appreciate that. I just don't know. And they say, well, we really want you to do the video. And I said, okay, well, why don't we do it this way? Why don't we sponsor the video? You pay me to do the video and I'll do the video. And because I'm like, okay, that makes sense because like I told you guys, it's nice to get revenue into the channel too. I'll pay for the other guitar that's not, right? Perfect example. It's a great way to do it. And they didn't want to pay me. I was like, okay. So I threw the rate at them. And this is what's funny. They said, no, they can't afford that. They can't do it. And what I get a lot, and I just want to tell you, it's a funny thing that I think is an odd, and I just tell you because companies sometimes watch these podcasts that I do. It's funny to me because they'll go, I'm a small business. I'm like, well, I'm a small business. I have to this is all my time and money into this too. We have to figure out a way to live together, work together. And I always shock to this day, especially in this industry, how many businesses don't understand how to barter or negotiate with anybody, given that almost every guitar player has bartered or negotiated something. I mean, we trade guitars with each other, trade pedals with each other, trade guitars and pedals with stores. I mean, at some point, everybody, I think, as a guitar player has bartered a little bit. So it's weird to me. It's like, I think it's funny that if I say, I'm just using reference numbers. Pay me $1,000. And they go, well, I can't afford $1,000. Would you just do it for free? I'm like, that's a crazy thing to say. Like, I would be less offended if you go $100 and be like, oh, $100. I mean, whew, yeah, that's pretty tough, but I understand you're on a budget. But I'm like, your budget is zero? Your budget is zero. So this is why I'm telling you guys about social media. This is why I'm telling you this for a purpose of understanding social media as a construct. So this company kept coming at us, and what we did is we would throw this price at them every time, and every time they'd be like, I can't do it. So I finally, because they weren't opting to it, they weren't negotiating, I said, I have an idea. Since you can't pay me, let's just say $1,000, keep life easy, just give me 10% of whatever I sell for a month, right? We'll put an affiliate link, and I'll tell everybody there's a link, and you click the link, and if you buy the thing, I get 10%. And they agreed. And I did the video. And to this day, that's the most money we've ever made, ever from any company. In fact, no company has ever come close, and no company will ever come that close again, how much money we made, because you guys actively bought all this stuff. As always, I disclosed that it was a sponsored video. The video, you clicked the link, you guys decided to buy the stuff because it was cool. And we made a lot of money. Now, here's what's funny about that. This is why I tell you about this. This is why I believe social media is cheap. In other words, how I know it's cheap for companies. That company came back, as they should. I don't know if it was a year later, half a year later. They came back and they go, we totally want to do another video. And I go, great. And they go, and we'll pay $1,000. And I go, oh, no, let's do the 10%. Let's do that deal again. And they go, no, we don't want to do that deal. We want to pay you up front. And I go, well, why would I do that deal now? I just made a fortune, right? And they go, well, that wasn't really fair for us. So, yeah. So it's such a funny. That's I'm just telling you. So social media is cheap, is what I want to basically tell you. You can get people on social media to review a product for absolutely free. That's insane. So if you like this clip and you'd like to watch another one, you can click right here. And if you want to see the entire episode of the podcast, you can click right there. As always, thank you for your time and know your gear.